The healing properly.
Okay.
It's driving me nuts, and it's like sometimes on a walk, it's like, all right, I've turned around 50 times.
Oh yeah.
How many times do I keep doing it? And
yeah. What's the color he's on?
pardon?
What's the model? 2300.
The one that was still available, the one that you didn't have to get on eBay.
The 2300. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's do this. What's your number at currently?
75.
All right. Go ahead and tap. 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 Tap.
Huh.
Did he get groomed?
No.
Oh, is he on a new prong too?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, that looks like the better fit.
Yeah. I got the 3.0 one you recommended.
Okay. Cool.
Checked out the video to fit him. Hopefully, right?
Okay. So what we'll do is we're gonna work on just figuring out what's going the indiscrepancy. Okay. So let's go ahead and go to 80. So you went as high as 90, and that was 90 earlier today.
Yeah, I know. Walk earlier today.
Okay. Cool. Tap now. Tap. And now give a little bit of a pull towards your left. Tap. 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 More direction with the leash pressure. More pressure with the leash. Tap. More so straight back. Yeah, back. Tap. A little more pressure. Pull, pull, pull. Pull, pull. Yep. Now, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna choke up closer to where the prong is, because you want to be very direct. So the more slack there is, the more leverage he has. The less slack there is, the more leverage you have. Okay. So now I'm gonna have you just be real direct, and then no e-collar, but just pull with the prong. Pull, pull, pull. Okay. Now tap, but keep pulling, keep pulling, keep pulling. Tap. Pull, 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 pull. Pull, pull, pull. Pull. Yeah. So see it right there. You alleviate the pressure.
Yeah.
You can't alleviate that pressure, because what's happening is he's going no, and then when you said okay and you gave that pressure up, he just learned that he can resist that, right?
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. You're at 80. Okay. Do you have your muzzle?
Yeah.
Slap it on him.
What's that mean?
All right. So let's see here.
Sure. Might as well.
So here, whenever I want to get an immediate control over a dog, first thing I'll do is I'll go high on the collar, okay? Because if I'm here, we're like this, right? So I always go here. It's always the first thing that I do. I'm gonna dip it down. I'll go down to 62. I'm gonna put some pressure here. Tap, 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 tap. Then relax. Okay.
You were just pulling straight back?
Just straight back. Get it. So what most people tend to do is they go up and back.
Okay.
So when you're giving directional pressure, so like let's say I want him to go on my right now, okay? I have to go immediately to my right.
Parallel to there.
Yeah, people tend to go like this, okay? So if I pull to my right, go tap, tap, right there. That was 2 taps, okay? So I'm keeping this pressure on, and it wasn't forceful, it was just direct, right? On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm probably giving him about a 4 in terms of pulling pressure. So if I want him back to my left, pressure, tap, tap. So that is an asshole. Okay, that was 4 taps. A lot of space. But he's going, I don't want to do it. Put the brakes on. Okay? I actually have I'll send the video to you. I have a lady that just signed up with her pit. Very, very, very reactive pit. And she's up here holding the dog. Okay? And you see us taking the time, working through it. The dog calms down. And by the end of the session, the dog's calm. And she's like, oh my God, you're so calm. I'm like, yes, because we took the time to work through this. He's making it harder. I'm just giving very clear direction. And I went down to 62, 63, right? So it's not so much the power, because I even went down lower to go like, all right, I'll go down a little bit lower, it's too much. It's that when he puts the brakes on and goes no, and you don't continue to work through that, and you like that big response, right? Because people see them like older dogs in pain. I'm like, no, he's just he's like a kid throwing a tantrum. I don't want to do, like when my mom going, go to your room, I would be yelling, I don't want to go, you know? It's the same thing, but I'm not being mean about how I'm going about it. I'm just being direct, and I'm being assertive, okay? So then, when I gave that pressure, it was tap, 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 and then he went, no, and I went tap, and that's where the big commotion came from. That commotion was tantrum and the brain finally going, fine, because then he did it. There was nothing after that, and everything, okay? Now, the sucky part is, because remember last week how vocal he was, is people are worried about this.
Oh, like how it looks to others?
Yeah, you know, I mean, I've been doing this for 10 years. I've had people come up to me, I've had people come up to my clients, I had a guy from the UK try to fight me, you know, because these are banned in the UK. So he came like, fucking dog, and I'm like, bro, I'm like, this isn't the UK. It's not legal here. Like, and I'm being paid to do this, so like, get the fuck out of here, right? You're barking. I am not the person you want to confront about this, okay? So, if someone comes up, I go, I didn't ask for your opinion, have a nice day, and I continue what I'm doing, okay? Because if you care too much, you know, your primary concern is this guy.
It is, yeah.
And he's frustrating you, right? So that frustration, if we try to, like, I'm not saying you weren't doing it correctly. What I'm saying is, like, if we try to dance around the problem, you know, either because of stuff like that, or maybe, you know, like when you were pulling him, you gave him to the pressure, when you're directing him, you start to put the brakes on, maybe starts to get a little vocal, he wins. He doesn't understand that you're doing it because you don't want to embarrass yourself. You know, he's just going, I don't want to do it, and he's like, oh, and you're allowing me to not do it. Cool. I'm gonna do that some more. Okay. So I was just subtle pressure. You know, it's my side.
Yeah, my thing, I was feeling bad for him. Honestly, I was like in a box. I didn't even remember I was here. Like I was just like, oh,
yeah, that happened. Like you get tunnel vision.
What am I doing wrong? What's wrong with him?
Sure. So then, when you start to get frustrated, what I always suggest is stop, take a breather, take a few seconds. You know, it's happened to me, especially in the very beginning of my career, because I was learning still. Now I've already learned. Now it's like, all right, cool, I've already done this 1,000 times, right? But you have it. You know, so sometimes for the owner, what's normal to me is not normal to the owner, which is why, like, when they find their dog's working number and it's like 45, I'm like, yeah, it's normal. And they're like, oh, okay, cool, because I was getting really worried. I'm like, yeah, everybody does. So, normal stuff, okay? But it's okay to take a step back, take a breather, get some time to like just decompress. Because if you get frustrated, you're not going to think clearly, right? Because you're getting upset, like, oh, this, why isn't it better, blah, 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 blah. Then I take a step back, like when I took it, instead of being at 80, I said 60. You know, and I started with very subtle pressure. Like I didn't just go yank, right? I was like, here, I need you to do this. Continue pressure. You get it, right? And I didn't even remote him. I'm just using this as teaching him, like, when you feel this, good, you move with it. Now I want him to move forward. Okay. Right. So you see I was wrong, then right. There. It was wrong, now right. And look how right that is. Right? Because the first ones were don't want to do it, and I said, too bad, you're going to do it. Okay? Super simple stuff. We're going to try it again. Okay? Don't worry. You're the first person, not going to do last person. All right. So, tell me what you're struggling with him just being mindful of you, correct?
Like the healing specifically, like the stay thing from last week, like,
yeah.
I don't think he messed it up once.
Okay.
But just the healing, it's like he's doing it, but he's doing it like a little wrong. You know what I mean? Like instead of here, he's freaking like there.
Yeah, he's pushing that boundary.
And it'll kind of be like, turn around. You know, I do the corrective turn and all
okay.
that. It's like,
so I'm gonna have.
Sometimes to yelp, it'll go right back into.
You'll go right back into that.
Being like a step or two ahead.
Sure. Okay, yeah, he's just welcome to the dog.
Yeah.
So like for the human, because you're logical, right? you're like, man, like, why do you keep foraging like you're yelping, right? Like this must be discomfort or whatever, but you keep foraging, right?
Right,
Welcome to dog logic. Okay, dog logic is not human logic. So, give you an example. I had a client whose dog would go in the garbage. Okay, 127 continuous with the high-powered collar. Dog kept doing it, and they're like, Jesse, why would the dog keep doing the one, like taking the hit? I'm like, because they're a dog and it's worth 127 continuous because they bite each other, right? Because remember, even though it's very uncomfortable, it's never going to really replicate a dog bite, right? So, according to the dog logic, they're like, sure, yeah, digging the garbage is worth this very harsh hit every single time, right? So then I said, do 127 continuous for even looking at the garbage. Then the dog stopped because the dog couldn't even look at the garbage. Does that make sense? So the owner was waiting for the dog to already be in the behavior, whereas I was like, catch it sooner. Tap. Let's go down to 45. So part of that non-compliance can also be like that stuff, you know?
Turning around and...
Not the stuff that I just helped you with like the leash pressure, how he was bucking, right? And then finally he was like, fine, Jesse, I'll do it. And then he became compliant because I forced him through non-compliance, okay? Yesterday I worked with another dog. It was same exact spiel, but worse. This dog was like, blah, like screaming. And I'm like, this looks very bad, but I have to work through it, right? And we did, and guess what? The dog was better, okay? So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna have you to show me what you've been doing, you know, escalate when you need to escalate, stuff like that. And I'm gonna see if there's anything that we need to tweak. I kind of feel like there was maybe little things that we weren't pushing him through. So what happens, it's kind of like with people, you know, if like if a kid is winning like little battles, it like empowers them to want to like keep testing the boundary because they keep getting in their way with little things. That's why when it comes to dogs, bigger problems are usually a culmination of smaller problems. Okay, tap right there. Okay, because we're just saying don't worry about that right now. Okay, now I don't care that he looks at the kids. I don't care that he looks at the kids, you know, but that was more so to just check like how easy to work with right now. Okay, so like let's say right now we do the healing stuff and all of a sudden it's better. What did we just learn?
That like with what you did a moment ago, he's more in tune. Is that it? Or?
Correct. Yeah, but more so not so much me working with him, but working him through non-compliance. Okay, because when a dog is in resistance, it's like a human. If they're not wanting to listen to what you're saying, they're not going to listen, right? They're going to be like, nope, 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 and you can spend all day trying to talk to them, not going to listen. Okay, and we'll scoot down a bit so we get away from these kids because they're driving me nuts. All right, you guys missed it. We had a car accident right here.
Oh, word?
Yeah, we had it got on camera. I'm like teaching the heel, and then just car crash. We're like, what?
Might need you in court.
I know. I went up to them because I got it on film.
Yeah.
But it looked like they had the same story and stuff. I'm like, well, if they need video, here's the video.
Sure.
So
just do the basic stuff in turns and stay.
Yeah, let's see where he's at now, right? And then let's take a look at that slack there. Relax. Let's give a little bit more slack. We want to have it more so by the armpit area. A little bit more. That's good right there. Very good.
Pancho, heel.
Good. Tap. Good. You got an off-leash dog right there.
All right, well, come here.
Gonna relax. Tap.
Oh, I'm sorry, bud. I know you worked so hard. Great.
There you go. Good.
Oh, you're beautiful. Hey, Bo, come here.
Yep.
He's going straight to the park. No, he loves that park. Oh, the garden.
Good. Tap. Good. So he's doing a little better. He's looking calmer. But he did start to get ahead of you on that last little bit.
Yeah.
Did you see that? So then you'd want to go into that pivot, okay? Let's try it again.
Heel.
Go and turn. Tap, tap, tap. Is he neutered?
No, which that's the next thing I was going to tell you. If you do that, would that help?
Maybe. I'll talk about that. Because that's one thing I was just picking up on right now. How old is he? Okay. A little better.
Stay.
Good. All right, and slow to stop. Tap. Good. Now here we're gonna be strict about this. Go ahead and keep where you're at, and then I'm gonna have you do what I did essentially, right? It's just subtle pressure back, and then you're gonna sweep them in. Tap. There you. Yep. A little bit more back. Tap. There you go. That's fine. Good. So neutering. Maybe, maybe no. So I have a bull terrier that we did a. Did you guys see him? The bull terrier?
Yeah.
They're in the facility when you came. So we had a deaf bull terrier that we trained for 4 weeks, 5 weeks actually. He unneutered, and he was having a lot of aggression issues. And he got in a fight with the other dog within the home, ripped her ear and all that stuff, and then was getting more aggressive, more territorial and everything. And I told him, like, look, a lot of this looks like frustration to me, like, sexual frustration. There's no outlet. Every morning he's humping his bed. He's trying to hump the other dog. He's like very like domineering. And I never tell people to neuter their dogs, okay? Because in the animal world they don't neuter each other, but they tear each other up. There's a video on YouTube if you want to watch of like dogs fighting over a female, like. They fuck each other up pretty bad. Like the dogs are gashed and bleeding and like just blood. Yeah. So that's how they keep each other in check, right? So this dog is tough. So they're like, do you think it'll help? I'm like, I really do think it's gonna help, at least with like the sexual frustration, like with the mounting of the bed and the mounting of the other dog and stuff. For sure, it's gonna help with that. They neuter them, and then within the day, they're like, yeah, like we can already tell the difference. And training them after that was so much easier. Like it literally, like even with training, I was like, wow, like this for him made a big difference. Okay, so I always, like, unless you're gonna actually mate the dog, which you also have to think about genetics. So if he has like dog anxiety or whatever, that's not a dog that you would want to replicate anyways. But if he has no outlets, it can create more issues. Okay, I always recommend it. My Chihuahua was neutered. He was neutered late. He was neutered like eight years.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But like I remember him, he would be at the park and like trying them out females, and I could blast him on 100, and he'd yelp and then run right back to mount them. Like that's dog logic, So the instinct was so strong, and after I neutered him, like world of a difference, But he's only an 8-pound dog, right? So obviously handling an unneutered 8-pound dog is easy. My pit was spayed after her first heat. My other dog was neutered as well, my old Maltese. So yeah, I always like tell people like it does help with like prostate cancer and all that crap with dogs. Behaviorally, I don't rely on it as the answer, but it can help in the overall answer. Okay, so if that's something you've been wondering or thinking about, I always suggest something. If you're not going to mate the dog, just neuter them or spay them. Okay, and it may make your life easier. Okay, why do you feel bad about like?
Nobody wants to go to the playground. We have to run if we want to go to the playground.
What's that?
You don't want to get neutered.
I never said that. No.
Yeah, because I know some people feel bad. They're like, oh, my dog's gonna be less of a man. Like, no, I'm like, dogs they don't think like that. That's human thinking. Okay, but yeah, I recommend it. I know if you go to Paws Chicago, which is like in the south side of Chicago.
We had started to, but he just goes crazy at the vet. But we're at a better place now, so I think
Yeah.
we're going to try.
If you need help going to the vet, I can send someone to go with you. But you're out in South Chicago,
Yeah,
right?
east side, southeast side.
Yeah, that's fine. I can get Enrique. Because I used to go with my clients to the vet visits and stuff. But are they even taking you inside, or do they just take the dog
Well,
inside?
this was a while ago. Back then, they're like, no, as soon as you walk in the clinic, they'll just take the dog.
Oh, okay.
They wouldn't even let you go in.
Sure.
Like,
For like surgery, you're saying?
yeah.
Oh, the clinic. I thought you meant our vet. Yeah.
Yeah.
At the vet, I had to go in with him and like hold him, and he was trying to lunge when they were giving the shots and stuff. There he's doing that again.
Nonsense. Yeah, if you need, so if you want to check it out, and then if you need help, let me know, and I'll send Enrique, and he'll help you guys take them in. Okay. All right, let's try the tap. There you go, and just relax. There you go. And now let's go and start walking. Do your turn, tap. Good. Good turn. Yeah, so I can see like right there, right? Like right when you turn, he already starts to forge ahead. You're at 45?
Yes.
50. And give a little bit more slack. Always down to that armpit. Okay, forward. Turn, tap. Turn, tap. And you can take the muzzle off now if you like. If you think that'll help him out a bit. That was just from when I was handling him.
Sure.
Let him sit. Sit.
Tap. There you go. Good.
Okay.
So here, so see how he's placed incorrectly? What we're gonna do is we're gonna make him correct, okay? So now you're gonna do that light pull back. Yep, there you go, and then relax. Good. All right, so we're just trying to get him to be more compliant, essentially more easy to work with less pressure. Ideally, it shouldn't take like, 90 or whatever, but I mean, I've had a handful of dogs right now but they're all pits. They're all, bullied breeds. Tap. Okay, and then forward.
And when you're saying turn for now, does that mean corrective turn?
The corrective turn, correct, yep.
Deal.
Good turn. Now slow walk. So right there, you can see that. All right, now turn, tap. Good. Good, slow turn, good turn. Now slow walk. It's a little bit better, slower. Stop. A little bit better. Okay, so what I like to do is if the dog has issues with walking at the speed of the owner, is I'll like go stupid slow, like you were right there, right? So anxiety or anxiousness tends to want to move, So if we have an anxious dog and they move around a lot, I either or they move fast, I either slow down to make them walk slower or keep them stationary, okay? So here, we're gonna use that to our advantage, where I'll have you shift between walking at your normal pace and like shifting from normal pace to slower pace, especially after those turns, because I noticed prior when you would turn and he would complete it, he would shoot off a bit. So then if you turn and then immediately slow down, it gives you a good moment to kind of catch if he's trying to get ahead of you again, okay?
Okay.
Go ahead. Right, good slow. Turn, tap. There you go. Tap forward. There you go. Right, there you go. Good. Tap. Good. So right there, you see how you completed that turn? Mm-hmm. And then he shot ahead a bit. So right there, he's passing already.
Yeah, so this is, what am I trying to say? That's bad, right? Let's say
Correct.
we're walking and he's there.
So go ahead and take a step up so that your left leg's next to his right shoulder. That's it. That's heel, okay? So whether you're in movement, you're fine. Whether you're in motion or stationary, Pancho's job is, you okay, bud? His job is to be lined up just like that.
Yeah.
So it should be like if you're walking together. You know, like as humans, we walk shoulder to shoulder, right? And we like look to each other and we talk and stuff. Same thing for Pancho. So whenever you come to that turn or that stop, if you see him, even if it's the tiniest little inch that he's playing with, or you can even remember last week, I think we talked about tapping and turning. So you would tap first. Exactly, he was learning that turn real quick. But I can already see the difference. I can already see he's doing better. Okay. Let's try it again. Forward.
Just keep the normal and then slow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Heel.
I kept doing that corrective turn and it kept happening in front of my neighbor's house. He actually came out to see what I was doing.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
Tap.
forget it, let's go.
Tap. There you go. Because he wasn't walking with you?
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Better. Better. So right there, you see how he's crossing? Remember that left turn that we did? Where I punched into him with my leg? That's what I would do to correct that problem.
When he's kind of angling in like that?
Correct, right? You're just gonna, out of nowhere, what you're gonna do is as you're walking, okay, Pancho starts to do this, right? Is that left turn with that right leg, remember? But when you do it, it's gonna be boom. Like, just power through. Okay, put power behind that leg. Because he's crossing over and you want him to go, oh, what the hell? Okay? So you're not doing it to be mean, but you're using that physicality because you're saying, like, look, don't worry about what's over there, because then you don't know if this knee's going to come out of nowhere. Okay? Go ahead.
Heel.
So here he's okay. We're only doing that turn if he crosses. Good. 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 So right there you go. Good job. Go to 55. You're at 50, right?
50.
Yeah, it's 55.
Okay.
So right here, you see, it's a little hard to catch.
Yeah, those moments, like, I guess I should just treat it like it's just as bad as like being way ahead of me, right?
Yeah, remember,
It's part of my
if you
problem.
give them an inch, they'll take a mile,
Sure.
okay? And dogs are very good about thresholds. So I'll get I think I explained this to you last week where I was like, you know, the dog will learn like to play with that little bit of space, and then when the owner turns, they'll turn right away. And the owner's like, well, crap, they turn with me, so I can't correct them. I mean, that's why I told you about tapping then turning to beat the punch. So dogs are really good with this stuff, okay? Humans, we're not as good, you know? So, did he go over any of this stuff with you, like with the stay and everything?
Yeah.
He did? Okay.
Yeah, she
So,
watched the video and worked on it a bit.
okay, cool. So I'm gonna have you do a little bit more, then we'll swap just to make sure that you're on the same page, okay?
You know, listen to me, he's not as good with me as he is.
Okay, so we want to get him good with you, right? Because that inconsistency there will work against you. Okay, so we'll do a little bit more, and then we'll swap.
Heel.
Right, so you see how you used your hand to pull him back?
Yeah.
So you actually go ahead and turn to your right. Turn to your right. There you go, and then slow down to a stop. Okay, and I'm gonna have you use your leash to correct them. So stay where you're at. Take that step back. There you go. Now use your leash. Tap. There you go. That's okay for now. Just that he's beside you. I'm not gonna aim for perfect, okay?
Okay.
So, two things. One, when you turn this way, you subconsciously use that leash.
To like rein him in a bit. To the
Yeah.
side,
So instead of doing that, you actually recognized, oh, he's getting ahead. or he's going too fast, is that's where I would just turn and tap instead. Okay. Now the other thing was when you come to stops, when he stops away from you, you tend to close the gap by moving into him. Instead, I'm taking these little moments to be even more strict with him and making him return. I don't need it to be perfect right now. Okay.
So stay exactly where I was in this random.
Make him do the work. Dogs accommodate the humans. The humans do not accommodate the dog. Okay. So let's try that again.
Sure. Pancho, heel.
Much better. Tap forward. It's okay. I know that was a trick one. Tap, tap. There you go. Tap, 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 tap. There he goes. Now here, yeah, you're gonna anchor yourself. Now you're gonna just pull to your left. Now out and left. Now straight back. Tap. There you go. Now forward. There you go. That's fine right there. Okay. So what you're doing is you're doing this with your arm. Is you're pulling back but behind you, and you're trying to do out to bring them away from the front of you, and then back to bring them back this way. How I think you termed it parallel, something like that. Yeah. More straight as opposed to behind. Okay. Okay. Yep. Go ahead. Good turn. Right. Now you slow. Right. There you go. Took him a moment, but he got it. There you go. Good. Try a couple more. Good turn. Good. Power through. Yeah. There you go. Good. One more. There you go. I can see him testing though, but it's better. It's a lot better. Good job. And I actually have another, if you would remind me, another German Shepherd that we work with for board and train. And that I go over that crossing because when the husband went away, the dog like flipped out. So we had to use knee corrections to settle. And you see the difference between like before the corrections to afterwards. So it'll help give you a visual, but also like how physicality will de-escalate a dog's anxiety. His dog's anxiety was because of attachment issues. Yours is more so environmental overstimulation stuff, but same kind of concept. Okay, but that was a lot better. Okay. How did you feel about it?
A lot better.
Okay. So whenever you feel like when you're working with Pancho, if it's like, man, like it's not as good as when I was with Jesse, stop and just think like, what am I missing? Okay, is my leash? A lot of times the leash is too short. That's like the most common thing that I see with people is they shorten the leash too much. So if you shorten the leash, it promotes pulling.
Interesting.
Yeah, we got a dog coming.
I have been doing that.
Yeah.
I've been like going on my walks because I've been getting frustrated.
Yeah, so you shorten it.
About yay.
Yes. And like, because that's why earlier when I said give slack, is it's super common for whatever reason when we tighten up the leash, it'll promote pulling. Okay, it'll create tension. But as soon as you start to give slack, it allows the dog to make those mistakes. Because you remember, you want him to mentally be with you, not physically restrained, right? Because I get people that say like, oh yeah, my dog walks great, and they're holding the leash like this super tight. I'm like, well, let the leash go, the dog's gonna run away, right? So here it's all about mental engagement. And right there, where that leash is, right by his armpit, that's the perfect length. Because it won't get trapped underneath his legs, but also gives you enough space for him to make a mistake and get distance when you do your turn. Okay. Tap. Tap. What you're gonna do is go ahead and shorten here. And you're gonna be, because see how he's staring off that way? Yeah. Is go ahead and turn like, so you're like this. And you're gonna pull to your right. There you go. And take a step to your right. Another step to your right. Tap. There we go. Okay. So I'm trying to get him to like not be so focused.
Okay.
Okay. So the reason why I had you shorten your leash there is because I needed you to put prong pressure. So when you need that immediate control, that's when you shorten. And then when it's like we're going for a walk, then we give slack. If we see something happening where it's like, I don't know how this is going to play out, that's when you shorten. Tap. Have you used the prong as correction as well for him?
Have I done what, sorry?
Prong corrections? Like popping him on the collar?
I guess not.
Okay, so here, just give a quick jerk straight up. Okay, so that intensity on a 1 to 10, what do you think that intensity was?
Like for me? Like 2.
Okay, good. Yeah, that's about like 1 or a 2, okay? I want you to think 5, 6. Try again. Okay, that was probably like a 2 to 3. Again. And then relax. So what you're doing is when you're pulling up, what we're wanting is a snapping motion. So you're pulling up and staying up, and you want to go up, pop, like real quick, okay? Try it again. And now relax. That was better. Okay, now scoot to your right a little bit. There you go. Tap. Pull in towards your side. There you go. Good. All right. Questions about? So I'm trying to give you other tools to see like what's going to work best, right? Dogs. Trying to see what he's staring at.
A lot to work with over there.
Yeah.
No, I mean I feel better. I mean just the fact that before I even told you how I've been holding the leash, you said like maybe you're doing this. So,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you kind of. I was just kind of at a loss. Like, well, what the hell am I doing wrong at this point?
And shoot me an email.
Yeah. Okay.
That's why you got my information.
Okay.
Shoot me an email, man. That's what you pay for.
Sure.
You always have my technical support, even after training.
Okay.
I had a client from like 3 years ago sent me a text like, "Hey Jesse, we got a new dog. They're not getting along well," and I just sent him a quick answer. 2 weeks later, like, Jesse, they're playing. Like I already helped them, right? Like years ago, like they were one of my first clients. You know, messaged me 3 years, so I probably trained them 8 years ago. And they, there was a quick, easy answer. I'm like, sure, here you go. And then they're like, thanks a lot, it helped. My dogs are playing now. Like I'm like, cool, like, because they already had the information. Like they already knew how to use this stuff. And I was like, this is how you apply it to your specific scenario, right? So don't feel like you're a bother. Don't feel like you're a nuisance or anything like that. I'm here to help you, okay? Not just in person, but in the email. If it's an emergency, Jesse, can you please call me as soon as possible? I'll give you a ring as soon as I'm available, okay? And I can even provide you with videos. So now, like I said, I have a video that can help you fix this whole crossing over thing, and it's another German Shepherd, okay?
Okay. I appreciate that.
No worries. Let's go ahead and swap handlers here.
Ready?
All right. So, what side do we want them on?
Are you serious?
The left side. There you go. All right. Very good. And then relax. And then, have I showed you guys the trainer hold? I don't believe I have. So I'm going to show you. All right. So, you have Pancho on your left, right? Leash, handle, thumb. Okay. Yep. So left arm, and then get the leash handle. The leash handle. Sorry. All right. Leash handle. Left hand. Right. Good. Then you want to shorten a bit. Okay. So here, now take this over here. Right. Now like this. Just close your hand. And then you want to get the other like that. There you go. Now relax. Good. Okay. So this way we don't get all this clutter. Okay. Because one, if you for whatever reason lunge, I've had people break fingers. okay? Because you're just tightening that pressure. So here, this is what we call the trainer hold. This locks the leash, okay? So even if the dog lunged, sure they'll jerk me, but it's not gonna pop off of my thumb. If the dog pulled the leash through my thumb, then I got another problem, okay? So if you hold the leash like this, that happens, of course. If people hold the leash like this happens, and of course breaking fingers. So I like very little clutter, so that goes over your thumb. You pick your length, that goes over your finger like that. You close your hand. So now we have a double lock system. We got the lock here, we got the lock here, okay? So now when we're walking, you got that nice slack, right, by his armpit, because right away you were tightening it up and giving that short leash again. And we want to give him the space to make mistakes, okay? So if I'm, like right here, see how he's like sitting next to you, like, you know, licking himself, whatever, but he's next to you, right? Whereas I get other clients where they're like sitting there and they're holding their dogs like this, because the dog doesn't want to be there, the dog's going to be doing other stuff. So this is good already. He has the space to make mistakes, but he's not. Make sense? So that tells you that he's mentally engaged with you. Not completely, because I can already see him looking off at that over there. He's like looking around, he's kind of fidgeting a bit, right? But it's okay, we'll get him there. So we're gonna try that again. So now with that,
Sorry, that's like your permanent grip, not just like something's about to go down, right?
right? Yeah, that's how I hold the leash. Once you get used to it, and then when it comes to like giving slack and stuff, you get used to adjusting it. So like, if I needed to tighten it or shorten it, right? So if I, and there's multiple grips. Another one that some people like is over here, and they'll go like this.
I think I saw your dude doing that.
Enrique, yeah, that's his grip. He holds it like this. So it's still, or you can even do thumb as well. It's whatever your personal preference, right? So he's got a double grip, and he's also got both hands, right? I like to do the one-sided, so then if I need to tighten it up, I can just shorten it or whatever, and then we're like that. Once you get used to it, you don't even think about it, it's just like subconscious. But yeah, either of those work. Because life happens, dogs will catch you off guard, that I know if the dog lunges out of nowhere, they're not gonna get anywhere, okay?
Take it in.
All right, whenever you're ready, and relax. Good turn. Yeah, keep forward. Now slow walk to test them, but keep forward. That's better. Keep forward. You're good. Get ready to turn. All right, and slow again. Slow to a stop. Okay, so you see how he deviated here, right? So what I'm gonna have you do is go in and shorten that leash, take your time. There you go. And then I want you to pull to that left and tap to bring him in. Left and back. That's left and front, left and back. There you go. There you go, like that. There you go. Like that, and relax. Perfect. Okay? Excellent. And then give your slack back. Give this, remember the slack? There you go. Yep, and then lock it around that other finger as well. Just bring those fingernails out. There you go. Perfect. You got it. Good job. Now forward. Heel. Tap, turn. Good. Yeah, because he was getting ahead of you, right? Keep forward. Yep, use that body. Good job. Are you a fast walker?
No.
You nervous? Huh? She say yeah?
A little bit.
You nervous?
No, not nervous. I'm criticized by my husband.
Oh. Forward, tap, good. Good, now slow walk. Slower. Right? So here, see how he was getting ahead of you? Right? So what did we see? Because now he's distracted, right? And what happened when you started to slow down? He started to cross, right? So what would you want to do there?
Just keep going in. No.
You could, but he was a little too far off. He was already like half a foot ahead of you.
No.
Is
Tap and turn.
Tap and turn, okay? So here, instead of going forward, just turn, tap. Tap, there you go. And yeah, there you go, excellent. Are you liking this prong better?
Yeah.
It's the appropriate fit for sure, I can see it.
Yeah.
And it takes less. The other one was all the way down here, right here. See that passing? Turn, tap.
And the other
There you
one
go.
had the stupid like
Oh, the alligator clip?
yeah.
Yeah, those can come undone.
Yeah, they did a couple times. It'd be pretty scary.
Yeah, now slow. So you see how he's kind of forging with you? There you go, tap, there you go, good. You're at 55?
59.
Let's go 65. Yeah, it can happen even with the standard prong as well. It's super, in my career it's happened like maybe a handful of times over like 10 years.
Okay.
But definitely the alligator snap ones are much more
They
likely.
had like once a month. And
Yeah,
it's no good.
yeah, for sure.
Okay, cool.
Slack. There you go. Yeah, that's better. And then forward heel. Good, much better. Now slow to slow turn. Now slow to stop. So direct them, there you go. Now direct them back to your left. So you're gonna wanna go just straight back, tap, there he goes. Now forward, there he goes. Look at that, much better. See how much easier that is now?
Yep.
Okay, good. So go ahead and show me what you know of the stay.
Oh, I'm having a brain freeze.
It's okay. It's okay. So you're gonna wave your left hand, you're gonna say stay, okay? And then you're gonna pivot out with your right leg so that you're facing Pancho.
Stuff we
Okay.
were practicing this week.
Up, tap, right, good. And then I'm gonna have you just slowly move around the front half of Pancho here. Good, now back to the other side. Good, excellent, much better. Good, heel, good job, yep, heel. You got that hold down, it's good. Yep, tap, good. So here, tap, good. Now, when you come to a stop, you already started to pull up on that leash, right? Wait to see if he stops with you first, okay? Because right there, if he did stop, it was more so because you put tension on him, not because he was engaged with you, okay? So we're gonna try that again. Remember, if you're coming to a stop or anything and Pancho's still going, what do you wanna do?
I'm gonna tap, turn.
Exactly, okay? Whoop. So instead of going up, just think turn, tap. All right, so we're just changing our habits. Go ahead.
Heel.
Good turn, and then slow to a stop. Right, yep, you got it, Just a little bit quicker on that response time. Back, back on the leash, tap. Okay, now was that kind of difficult to do? You sure?
Could have been easier.
It could have been easier? Yep. How could we have made it easier?
I'm second guessing myself because I don't want to tap. I mean, I'm not. I'm like his mother and like,
I don't want it. It's okay. But I love how that's just like, just don't want to tap him. All right, so, oh, it's hilarious. So, you can make it easier by shortening that leash.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but also by tapping them.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna try that again. It's okay. Heel.
Heel.
Oh, you guys crack me up, man. Good turn. Yeah, good turn. Good tap. Okay. All right. Now, yeah, going to shorten that leash back. Yeah, a little bit more. There you go. That was a little bit better. Good job, good job. And then you're gonna get that slack back. Very good. There you go. Heel. Good turn. And then slow to a stop. Much better. Right. Good. Right there. Okay. So the more you're being strict with your expectations and the standards and applying that remote, the better he's doing. Just like he was doing with you. Right? So go ahead and bring Pancho over. I'll have you guys step aside right here. Go ahead and bring him over here, please. It's okay. All right. Yeah. You know, neither do I. So like when I first started training, I mean, you're looking at me with 10 years of using remote collar, right? And 10 years of working like some very severe cases where it's like I've had to double collar some dogs because they were just that aggressive. And, you know, so when I come into play, you know, the owners have had multiple trainers, nothing's working, everybody's telling me to put the dog down, stuff like that. And I go, look, I'll get it done, but I'm the guy that does the dirty work. I'm the guy that's going to give you answers that aren't pretty to hear. So it's like going to, like, let's say we have, you know, a family, their son had an accident, they're in the ER, the doctor comes out like, look, I can save him, but he's going to lose both of his legs, right? Or try to keep legs and legs your son, right? So it's shit like that, you know what I mean? Right, come in, I'm like, look, your dog's going to have to get blasted on 127 with 2 collars because your dog's jackass, you know? But it's never been that extreme. But, you know, when I come in, I'm like, you know, I got, like I said, at least 5 cases, if not more. Their numbers are 85 and 95. I got one yesterday. The dog was doing great, but then recently just had an incident and digressed. He went from 115 to 127. And he's getting, like, tapped on 127, and you wouldn't think it was 127 because he's giving no response to it. He is just that anxious and tough. But she's also on a low-powered collar. So I told her, like, if you want a higher powered collar, this is why. But we get the result because I'm willing to go to the extent needed. So then for the owners, it's the same process, right? So that's why I go, for me, it doesn't matter. I will get the dog to be good. You saw it, right? And then after I work with them, it was easier because I worked with that resistance. Now the con to that situation is that I did it. So it's not related to you, right? That's why I try to coach people as much as possible so that the dog relates it to them and nothing's ever tied to me, okay? Prior to COVID, I would do a lot of hands-on stuff and I would do all that stuff. But then later on, I did find that owners would struggle with things like that because they never did it, you know? But from the get-go, now it's all down. Yeah. So you know, dogs, they'll bite the puppies, no problems. You know, dogs bite babies, no problem. You know, they don't think of it as a baby. They're just like, get out of my space. You know, it's how we correct our puppies, but it doesn't translate well to the human. You know, so I understand obviously you love and care for Pancho, and you don't want to hurt him or anything like that, or like people get concerned about like the relationship. Is my dog gonna hate me? That's not gonna happen either. The only way dogs have issues with these tools is if people bring in too much emotion. You know, they start being angry or frustrated or like screaming and yelling. That negative energy with this stuff is what causes the issues, not the consequences themselves. You know, because I've given a very harsh consequences to dogs. And they don't like me, but they respect me, and they're not scared of me because they know like Jesse just lays it down, you know? And with me, I can like have them around other dogs, no aggression. They won't try to attack anybody. They won't try to attack other people,
And they
other dogs,
must
things like
test
that.
in the
But they just know just
same blood for heartworm and flea test.
Earlier, I just went down to 60, and I just used very direct pressure with that prong to direct him and made him do it. And then once he complied, everything went away. And I'm like, oh, cool. I can make my life harder by being resistant, or if I just go with the flow, life's a lot easier. You know, it's super simple. So, for this week, we're gonna take a step back, review things a little bit, okay? It's okay, it happens. Because there's no point in moving forward if the foundation, this is your foundation, okay? This is what sets up for like behavior stuff that comes from like territorial behavior within home and things like that, okay? This is the foundation. and like more so the easier stuff. So if like you're still struggling with the easier stuff, then when we get to the harder stuff, it makes sense that's probably gonna be a lot harder, right?
Right. Okay, let me ask a question. So when I'm walking, you say like the other day I kept correcting my tap and turn and it kept happening at the same house. So I'm like,
Yeah.
just tap him like he's going that way and then keep going like. So I'm not
What was the highest you?
But I mean, I still keep turning and correcting in that same spot.
But erase the number. Yeah, so what I would do is if you want a fixed routine, so I have, I think I told you about my 3-tap rule. So 50, tap, 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 no response, 55. Tap, 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 no response, 60. Every 3 taps, if I don't get the result that I want, I bump it, okay? How you can apply this to your turns is turn, 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 tapping of course, no response, 60. Turn, 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 no response, 70. You know, and I would go up faster there because you're just trying to get past that house.
Yeah.
But what you're trying to do is get him to walk with you in front of that house first, and then you go. Because people tend to want to just get it done. You know, and if you just rush through it, and we have this on video as well, so that's another video I can send you. Coincidentally, the dog gets on 127 now for the power, where there's a dog behind the fence and he becomes reactive, and Enrique goes, we need to work through this and get him to walk by the fence non-reactive and very passive, and he has her do that in front of the fence. And then he says, now we can move forward. So the next time Pancho comes by, maybe you only have to do 1 correction, and then he is able to go. And then you do that so many times that you're just able to go. Okay, so it's like, you know, whenever I have anything like that, what's nice is that it's controlled context. You don't have to worry about the dogs interacting or anything like that. You just have to be mindful because the owner can come out and be like, what are you doing with my dog? Yeah. Because I've had that happen.
Yeah, no, he did come out. I'm like, oh, freaking, let's go back.
Yeah. You know, I'm like, sorry, I just trained my dog, whatever, right? But yeah, it's super common. So I like to use controlled context like that. Don't worry about how far you go. Okay? Worry about how consistent Pancho is being at your side like we taught, okay? So at first it's only gonna be a block and maybe it takes you 15 minutes, okay? But then the next day you're gonna go 2 blocks. Then the next day, 4 blocks, 6 blocks, 12 blocks, right? That's how it starts. So I've had plenty of times where I've spent 15, 20 minutes on just one thing with the dog, but as soon as I crack it, boom, the next time 5 minutes, the next time 1 minute, the next time 30 seconds, 2 seconds. Like those pulls that you were doing, that I think that last one was the best one. How easy, and he just like flipped into it, right? Because we worked through it earlier.
Yeah.
And he went from blocking and like being a brat to like, all right, sure, I'll go with the flow, I'll do it, no big deal. Okay? So dogs actually progress very quickly. It's the humans that, you know, one, you're not dog trainers, but then also there's the emotional component. And you also have to think about what happens outside of training. You know, because you gotta have a companionship. You got them as a buddy, right? To enjoy life with. And not to be mean or anything, but like he doesn't need that. That's for the human. That makes the human feel good, right? So, police officers aren't our friends. You may have a friend who's a police officer, but police officers aren't our friends. They're here to regulate and reinforce the wall, right? Because if they were trying to be buddy-buddy with everybody, people wouldn't take you serious. So for dogs, it's interesting because you're not just the companion, you're also authority, right? So like, I don't tell my friends what to do, they don't tell me what to do. We're friends, right? But I can tell my employees what to do, right? Growing up, my mom and my dad told me what to do, and I could tell my like younger brothers and sisters what to do to a degree. But ultimately, my mom and dad had me full control, right? So that's dominance, it's hierarchy. So what makes behavior work tricky when I work with dogs, it's just that companionship. If the client is practicing more buddy-buddy, the dog's not going to respect him as an authority. Your case is simpler, in my opinion. So I'm not too worried about that. But if it's kind of like, you know, if you just look at your ratio, just think to yourself, like, how often am I being more so buddy-buddy than I am being, you know, dad? You know, don't think, you know, dictator, being whatever, just dad, right? More authority than companionship, right? Yeah. Sure. You know, I don't mind that you give them affection and stuff. I just give them affection when it's work for it. You know, like I make it mean something. People tend to give affection because the dog is cute, the furry, you know. But you don't know that. It's just like you just came to me like a royalty. Like you just give me shit for free. Like why should I work if I can get it for free? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's super simple stuff. Okay. So again, I don't mind that you love your dog and give them affection. Like I encourage it, absolutely. But I just choose when. You know, because then it leads to frustrations. You know, and you're doing it because you want to make him happy, but then he doesn't understand it that way. And then you're getting this other thing that you're combating, and then you're getting frustrated, right? So it's just this kind of constant tug of war. So
You said something I think in the last meeting. Like rewarding, like if he sits, like okay, you said I'm a good boy, like don't. Oh no, it was when you were talking about like you were putting
yeah.
And so like since you said that, I've been thinking of like, am I gonna pet him and be like good boy, like very least he has to be like sat down.
Sure,
Or,
making
like,
him do something.
Or like shut up when he's barking, like do something.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. Like that's fine. Okay. And then like you also want to think about, I know, so what creates reactivity and anxiety and stuff is stimulation, excitement, and people usually like, oh my god, and I'm fine with it. But like let's say like he sat down and someone throws this big show like, oh my god, you're sad, dude, my god. The dog's like, yeah, and just jump. I'm like, you just completely negated what we're trying to do here, right? Because that stimulation was what's causing the reactivity. I had a consultation here yesterday that was just like that. That they kept like petting and like saying good boy to the dog. I'm like, your dog is an anxious wreck out here, and you keep praising him, you're making him anxious. And the moment we stopped that, they started giving more direction, calm down. And they're like, oh wow, he's calmed down during the consultation. Is it because he's used to the environment? Like, no, it's because I've been telling you what to do this entire time. Right? So, so whenever you reinforce stuff, if he's being calm and you want that calmness, reward calmly. Okay? So if he's like just chilling on the couch and being relaxed, if you're like, oh my god, hey buddy, put pumping energy, like I wouldn't do that first. I would do that outside. When we're playing fetch, you know, when we're roughhousing. You know, I roughhouse with my pet. You know, she scratches me up and she bites pretty firmly. She has poor biting inhibition. But I play with her, you know, and that's just part of our play. So I respect that, right? But then once we're done, it's done. You don't put your mouth on me. We're not growling. We're not doing any of that stuff. Okay? It's an on and off switch. So it's okay. Today was good. We learned some stuff. We're gonna just take a couple steps back, review things, get some consistency. I think we were gonna work on recall today. Was it? The long
We brought the long.
Okay, yeah. So we'll plan for that next class. Okay. Feel free to email me. I don't care if it's in an hour. I don't care if it's tomorrow. If you got some questions, shoot me an email. Phone numbers in case there's an emergency. Okay. Otherwise, that's what you paid for. Okay. Awesome. Good seeing you guys again. You have a safe trip back home.